Well, welcome to the chaos. More importantly, welcome to the Residence Inn, just outside Walt Disney World property. This is in my opinion, a very underrated hotel for the price. If you are looking for something that is just adjacent to the Disney World properties, this is going to be one of your best bets. In fact, a lot of the hotels that are here in the Flamingo Crossings area are excellent. I highly recommend them. We're going to be going a little bit old school today. If you're familiar with our channel, we used to do a lot of hotel and resort tours back when I traveled a lot for work. I don't do that as much these days, but today I am because our air conditioning went out at home. So we got a hotel room at one of our favorite places here, and again, it's the Residence Inn. So I'm going to give you guys a tour. I'm going to show you everything that we like about this, give you the good, the bad, but more importantly, talk about why we think this is a good place for you if you're considering an off-site hotel when visiting the Orlando area. So let's go. So our first look just outside the hotel. My wife and I like to kind of joke around and say that this reminds us of a miniature version of Disney's Grand Floridian Resort at a fraction of the price, of course. But by the looks of things, it kind of is reminiscent of what that looks like. So I'm going to take you guys inside. We'll take a look around at the lobby. I'll show you a few things. And then I'm going to take you upstairs to the room and let you see that as well. But when you walk in, you'll notice really clean, really nice. Over there to the right is where the kitchen area is, breakfast area. They've got a nice lounging area here with a bar that's back in the back. I've enjoyed some beverages once or twice, and yeah, pretty quiet in the evening. I like this little fireplace set up, and I'll show you guys. Let's do a quick cut for our experience this morning as we had breakfast. Definitely a clean area. You got traditional eggs, sausage, pork links, fresh French toast. You could say fresh toast. It is fresh toast. Get your orange juice, your apple juice, some cereal, bagels. They've even got cage-free hard-cooked eggs. Look at that. So I am trying to eat better, so I'm going with the oatmeal, and then all the different, we got cranberry, coconut shavings, walnuts, chocolate chips, pumpkin seeds, brown sugar, pecans, raisins. That's pretty good. And they do have waffles here. Pour yourself the batter here.
He wants the Mickey Mouse ones.
Oh. Even got Mickey Mouse. Look at this. So,
all right, now we wait.
Get yourself a countdown, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Made a little bit of a mess there. But you can add some strawberry, apple cinnamon. What's this middle one? Is that chocolate?
It looks like blueberries.
You can even get sprinkles. Corporate, you can get sprinkles. Right next to check-in, they've got the market here where you can grab yourself some sodas, a couple microwavable meals, some ice creams, of course. You got to get your candy fix when you get in late from a theme park. You can even grab yourself some adult beverages as well. And then the necessities, if you need Benadryl, Tylenol, NyQuil, toenail clippers, mouthwash. Some of you need mouthwash, let's be honest. But yeah, comes with all the goods. And as you make your way to the elevators, there is a public restroom area. And as you walk through, you just notice how clean everything is here. You even have this is called Reese and Irvy's of Orlando. So it's like a frozen yogurt. They got vanilla and strawberry, and then there's all kinds of toppings that you can put on as well. That's kind of a cool thing. So that's fun. So they do have a really nice exercise room. It does require a key to get in. And it is open 24 hours a day. So this is nice. It's got free weights, some kettlebells, all kinds of treadmills, ellipticals, and it overlooks the pool area, which is nice. So not a bad, not an awful gym, especially for the price that you pay for this hotel. I know a lot of people really appreciate this part. They got the cleaning towels as well so that you can wipe down the machines if you have good gym etiquette. They've even got a water dispenser here with some towels in case you get extra sweaty. You just take the towels, throw them in there, and they'll wash them for you. Just before you walk out to the pool, they've got towels here waiting for you. And it is a decent sized pool. It's a little early morning for anybody to be swimming. If anybody's staying here, more than likely they are headed to the parks. Let's see if I can get in without my key card. Nope. So I do like that. Keeps it very private. There is not a jacuzzi, but in the evenings this opens up and you can get yourself some adult beverages. And if I'm not mistaken, the wings here that they have are pretty wonderful. Even got this little covered seating area. Yeah, it's a really nice hotel, and there is not a hotel immediately adjacent to it. We'll walk out here and I'll show you what I'm referencing. They do have some barbecues, as you can see, but there's a small lake. Somebody once left us a comment because I called this a lake, and they were like, "That's not a lake, you moron." It's a body of water. Okay, we'll call it a body of water. Yeah. But ultimately, the premises itself is very clean, well maintained. Got a little hopscotch design here on the floor. You play hopscotch as you make your way up to your room. Today, we are up on the 7th floor. I'm going to give you guys a tour of our room, talk about how we slept. Was it comfortable? For the most part. Alright, so let's head into our room, show you a quick shot of the hallway. Very clean. Today we are in room 718. And check this out. Yeah, this is a nice little welcoming into the room. You got yourself a little dinette set here. 4 people can sit there comfortably, and a decent sized couch. Let me show you what I mean by decent size. You could sit 3 people here, 4 people possibly. I guess somebody could go in the corner if you wanted to chill out and watch TV. This is pretty comfortable. Got a nice table here and some charging ports. I really like that a whole lot as well. So comfy. Now this piece is an ottoman, so it can be moved anywhere on the couch. It's not designed to be an L-shaped couch like that, but that is how it is set up. And then of course you've got a comfortable chair here with a desk. I've got my computer set up doing a little bit of work. You've got a decent desk here with, again, more ports, areas to plug in. Of course, the television. Well, let me point out that there are some drawers here, and these are decent size. So you could absolutely stack at least 3 piles of clothes in each of these. So that's a huge plus, because a lot of times that's one of the things you don't get enough of. And then this is a huge plus if you are traveling as a family, to be able to bring your own food. You've got a decent size GE refrigerator here. It does come with a freezer as well, so not your standard size refrigerator. I don't know what this would be, otherwise I would tell you. But you do have a microwave. You've got a couple electric burners, a sink, a very small dishwasher, And this, I like that they put this on the door. Dishes and utensils have been washed, but not commercially sanitized since last use. Giving you the heads up that people here have used this stuff, but I like that it is provided. And you can, if you want to, wash them yourself. You get yourself some coffee early in the morning as well, and all kinds of plug-ins all around the area, as if you're going to be bringing all of your additional other cooking items and stuff in here. But if you're staying for a week, I could see where you might actually end up using those. So the only thing I think they could have done a little bit better is make this a sleeper sofa. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe when they do renovations at some point, they'll consider that. But this could add a benefit to a family. If this pulled out into a couch, you could comfortably sleep 6 people here, because the room that we have is 2 queens. I'll show you that in a second, but let's take a look at the view. And this is great. This would be a wonderful view in the evening as you watch the sunset. You do not see Disney properties. You wouldn't be able to see fireworks or anything from this side, but you absolutely can on the other part of the building. Earlier I said, looks a little like the Grand Floridian, and maybe it's just, I don't know, stuff like that, the little accents and things like that. This is not a patio that you can walk out to, unfortunately. Still though, great view. Very comfortable room. Oh, and you get not just the curtains here, but you get the drop-down shade as well. So yes, our room got very dark at night, and this morning everything was still dark before we opened everything up, which I'm a big fan of. So another really big plus for those of you that hate the Florida heat, check this out. You do not need to do anything special to lower this to 64 degrees. A lot of air conditioning units here in Florida will have a general on there, and it will not allow you to go any lower than typically like 68. So that's a plus. The room itself got very, very chilly last night, which was great because, as I mentioned, our air conditioning went out. So it was a big plus. Just when we walked in the room, we were like, yes, let's go to bed. So that was great. All right. So as I mentioned, we opted for the 2 queen beds. And yes, they have been slept in. Typically, if you're familiar with any time we do these reviews, we always like to do them. What?
Show the camera
Who's this?
the bathroom.
Oh, show the camera the bathroom? Okay, I can do that.
We'll show the camera the bathroom.
Thanks, buddy.
And the closet.
And the closet. All right, so we're going to skip to the closet. So there is a spot. You got a full ironing board, which is nice because a lot of times you don't get that. All right, buddy. Love you. We'll see you later.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out. Yes, we like to sleep in the beds before we do the review, so that way we can give you some feedback regarding how we slept. I'll talk about that in just a second here. Each bed comes with 3 pillows. Just give us the 4th one. Will you just give us the 4th one? Got a thin comforter on here. And again, nice view out the window here. This is nice to wake up to. And as you can see, I mean, the room is decent size. You've got a flat screen with an LED light up on the wall, the air conditioning unit. So my one and only gripe about the air conditioning unit, first off, works great. Keeps the room really, really cold. But I don't know if you noticed this when it would shut off in the middle of the night. Like I pressed to have the fan continually running. It did not. It just very noticeable shutdown. And so like the first 3 or 4 times that happened, like I might have been on the brink of falling asleep, and then I'd be like, oh, what?
No, I didn't notice that because I don't need ambient sound to sleep. So if you need ambient sound to sleep, then it might bother you. But if you're like me and you can live without it, you'll be just fine.
We did have a sound machine going at the same time, one of the kids' sound machines, and still I could hear that turning off and on. It's very soft when it would turn on, but when it would shut off, it's just like an abrupt shut off. Okay. Not bad thing, right? So between the bed, you do have more drawers. Again, the space here, decent space, more space than you probably need, especially when you take into consideration the closet. You do have an alarm clock in case you need that, in case you're not part of the 21st century and don't have a cell phone to use. But this right here, there was no light at night, which was great because I like it dark. So that was not bright in the middle of the night when I got up to use the bathroom. I wondered what time it was. Looked over here, didn't see it. I'm okay with that. Again, more ports, plug-ins. All right, so what did you think about the beds?
This is a very long explanation, but I'm going to give it to you. We've frequently been traveling to Gainesville, staying at a Hyatt place, saying that we were in queen beds. These are bigger. These are actually queen beds.
These are real queen beds, yeah.
And so I'm saying that because when we have stayed at the Hyatt and the queens, Scott and I have really struggled to find space that was comfortable. I'm sure we were sleeping in doubles. This was wonderful because I didn't feel like he was on top of me and I didn't feel like I was on top of him. However, we are old and we both are having back problems. And I'm going to say that these beds are too soft. Anytime that we sleep in a too soft bed, we even tried recently a comforter like on top
of our own bed
to make things like soft.
Yeah.
Back pains at home.
Yeah.
So my back has not hurt.
Yeah, okay, bye. Thanks for joining. Continue your evaluation of the bed, please. Thank you.
My back has not hurt in well over a week, and this morning I am suffering.
Yeah.
Okay,
thanks, buddy. Door's broken, everybody.
Okay, bye, bud.
You got 2 different socks on.
That's what happens when you have children that lose socks.
Yeah.
They are very soft.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad back and you are in need of support, I don't know what you do about that, sleeping in a hotel room. Maybe it's not so bad if you sleep in it more nights, because realistically, one thing I don't think I've overheard you saying is I think this is a wonderful hotel for a long-term stay for multiple reasons.
Yeah, I've kind of touched on that a little bit.
Besides the kitchen being the most obvious, there is very livable space and like accessories in the hotel room.
That's a good call out because, like, you could see, like, as you're I don't feel like we were ever, on top of each other, right? Like, we all kind of were. You get in our bedroom at the house sometimes, and you're just sort of like, could you get out of the way?
Yeah, and I do. I feel like this is very, very, very generously. I feel like this is very generously spaced.
Yeah.
I love a hotel room when I don't feel claustrophobic in it, and I don't feel claustrophobic, especially stepping out into the living area this morning and having breakfast and coffee out there.
Yeah.
So nice.
Well, and again, big windows, that definitely helps. I'm curious.
Ceilings, very tall ceilings.
Yeah, the ceilings are great. You can see that's a huge plus. And again, we're up on the 7th floor, so I don't know if that's a norm. I am going to look at the bed, though, because I like to... This feels like it might be a... That's really tight. Feels like it's like a bed in a box. It just says Marriott. So I don't know. You say it's soft. It doesn't feel like springs. Yeah, maybe it is.
I don't even know if it's springs, but it's like you lay when you.
It feels
lay on
weird.
You sink into it, and I think that's the
but
problem.
not in a sense like you do when it's like a like memory foam. It's more of just, I don't know, maybe just not a good bed or old. It just kind of feels it's not the best. Anyway, all right, book the hotel, you'll figure it out. All right, here's the thing. Really like this. We always are excited when there is a secondary area where you can get dressed, you can get ready. There's a plug here. I use the hair dryer. I did it for my beard, I know, but you got a little cubby hole to stack some stuff, and again, more drawers. That's huge, and they are huge. And so...
As a lady, I have to point out the obvious, though. As you're standing here, the mirror is too far away, especially if you're wearing glasses and you can't see yourself.
Okay.
The light is awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's really bad. So, Marriott, please put in a lit mirror here. That would make all of the difference, or a secondary light above.
Yeah.
But again, when I was saying like livable space, this here... makeup, toiletries, skincare, whatever, you can actually put things away and not have to optimize these drawers or put stuff on the counter space.
Again,
I'm just saying.
Lots of space.
As the lady.
If you're going to be doing an extended stay, more than enough. places to store stuff. All right, I'm going to move on to the shower. Here's where I'm like, when I stepped in, I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's clean. It's got a nice, this has an LED light around the mirror. But here's the one thing that I'm like, I don't understand this. As soon as I came in here, I was like, why don't they have another door here? It's open. Maybe because Florida, humidity, they're like, to minimize the mold, we won't have a full door that closes. But here's the problem. Listen to this. Oh. So, there's even water coming out there. So after 3 of us took a shower, I don't know how they don't have
like actual formulas.
Water damage to the units below. They did a really good job caulking everything. But that's a weird thing. And when you first turn it on, like somebody had the massage on and it was just blasting down here and water was spilling all over the place. So I am gonna do my best. I bet every time they come in to clean, listen to this. Every time they come in to clean the room, they're probably picking up extremely wet towels. But I will say though, the shower head was great. The shower itself is good. I like this 39-degree north stuff. Sure, it's probably not the healthiest.
It's also so cool if you're like me, like the lady again, and you don't want to get your hair wet every single day, that you can turn on the shower away from the faucet. That is so freaking cool.
You turn it on there as opposed to having to step in there, which is
so cool.
And you got a little step stool, so boys, when you need to shave your legs, you got that, and then you can put a little towel there, and then you could add your toiletries. Again, very smart when it comes to an extended stay. Like, I want to use my stuff, I'm going to load it up. So, all right, that's a lot about the room. I will say this in closing. Absolutely worth the stay. There's a reason why we booked this last night. What did we pay?
$98.
$98 on a Wednesday night.
That was a Florida and Georgia rate.
It is a Florida-Georgia discount, but when I looked at the regular rate, I think it was $109. So you're not breaking the bank. And one of the really great parts about that pricing alone is that I booked it the day that we went to go. So I didn't have to book it out weeks in advance, months in advance. The pricing is super fair. Now, during holidays, we got Memorial Day that's coming up right now. Price is going to increase, but I highly recommend. Don't you interrupt me. I'm talking to my friends right now. Okay, sorry.
He looked, for some reason or other, I was looking on one screen, he was looking on another, and it had us checking in on Memorial Day and checking out the day after. And even still, that price was only $119.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for interrupting me. That was worth the interruption.
Yes, it was.
You're the best. Okay, so look, we're big fans of Disney. We love staying on Disney property. We looked at those. I think the cheapest one that I found was $209, which is not awful for Disney. Yes, you can find things for under $200. But I think, day of might have made it a little more expensive. So to get this for less than $100 is crazy. So would we stay here again? Yes, that's why we're returning. In fact, if you're a fan of this video, you want to know more about other videos in the Orlando area, we do have a hotel and resorts playlist with tons of hotels and resorts that we have stayed out. Check that out. There's probably stuff on there for you if you're curious about other resorts, or if you're trying to compare this to another one. There's a good chance that we have that, so take a look at that. But there is a reason why we came back here, and there's a reason why we will always come back here. In fact, the guy at the front desk, he didn't look familiar to me, but he was like, "You guys have been here before, right?" And we both went, "Yeah." How did you know?
How did you know that? Is there a record that says that?
I know.
Or have you seen our vlogs? Like, what? There's probably a note in the system that flags the check-in person that says, they have been to our resort before and they have logged it for their YouTube channel. So be nice to them so that we get a good review.
I love that you use a voice.
It's like
is
a robot
that the computer voice?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a robot voice?
I know, I'm not
really
not
good robot voice.
Can I talk about the obvious things that people are going to ask?
Yeah, sure.
I looked and I didn't see shuttle information, but we're going to check before we walk out in the lobby. They might just have it posted there if there is a shuttle and what the times are. But there is a $20 per day parking fee. The first time we stayed here, I think it was $5. So they have increased that quite a bit.
But that's pretty much everywhere you stay in Orlando.
I'm wondering if it's because you're so close to the parks that if you had somebody pick you up here, right? Like you could avoid parking or I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's $20 per day.
Good call.
You can bring pets, but it is a $150 non-refundable fee per animal to limit.
Oh, good find. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I found that. Outside of that, free breakfast and no other resort fees. There are 3 restaurants on property. I don't know if you saw that. I think one of them counts as the free breakfast in the morning, but there is even a restaurant out by the pool. So if you don't want to come inside and order food from the pool bar or the lobby bar, you don't have to because it's out there and they have drinks out there too. And then in the evening, the lobby bar has light snacks and like burgers and stuff. So overall, it's a great place to stay if you want to avoid the chaos. Plus, you got all this stuff across the street. I don't even know if we've covered that, but there's a Target, there's a Walgreens, a 7-Eleven, Starbucks,
Wendy's,
all
kinds of
stuff, and like actual sit-down restaurants that are great too.
Yeah. So in closing, I'm just going to add that one of the reasons why we really like it here is because it is away from enough of the chaos. Like if you're going to stay down by Disney Springs, fun. Lots of things going on, especially if you're at a resort where you could walk to Disney Springs. That's great. Disney properties, great, especially if they've got transportation for you to get to the parks. Here, it feels like you're a little off of the grid where you're away from the chaos. And unlike other areas where they'll have like Targets and shopping centers and things like that, it can feel a little chaotic. This is really chill. So another reason why we really like the Flamingo Crossings area, specifically this hotel. So again, if you enjoyed this, you want to know more, take a look at the Hotel Resorts playlist. If you didn't like it, give us a thumbs up anyway, because that way it puts it in front of the people that really could, dislike and leave some negative comments for us. We enjoy that kind of stuff. So give us a thumbs up anyway, but appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And that's it. Until tomorrow. Okay, so I asked the kids how they slept, and you guys said?
Very, very good.
Very, very good. You thought the bed was what?
Very comfy. It felt like squishy but stiff at the same time. So like you could be laying down and it wouldn't hurt your back, but it would also be like you were kind of sinking. It was really weird, but felt really good.
Okay.
And just overall, it was really good.
Okay. Buddy, you feel the same?
Yeah, but I got this cool shirt though.
You do have this really cool shirt. All right. So the kids feel different. They feel indifferent about the beds. They thought it was comfy.
Well, they're young and they don't have back problems, so.
Yeah.